Hey folks, welcome to Yanks, Dixie, and Native History. If you're hooked on untold stories from America's past, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic tales. Today we're diving into the Battle of the Little Bighorn, a clash that's burned itself into history as Custer's last stand. But this isn't just about George Armstrong Custer. It's about a man who cheated death in one of the wildest battles ever, Charles DeRudio, an Italian aristocrat turned U.S. Army officer with a story that'll leave you speechless. From dodging bullets to hiding from warriors, DeRudio saw it all. And trust me, there's more to this tale than you've heard before. Let's get started. Picture June 25th, 1876, in the dusty plains of Montana. The sun's blazing and the 7th Cavalry, led by Lieutenant Colonel George Custer, is charging toward a massive Native American village along the Little Bighorn River. This wasn't just any village. It was a gathering of Lakota Sioux, northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho, led by legends like Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. Thousands strong, they were ready to defend their way of life. And Custer? He was a man who lived for glory, but his choices that day would spark endless debates. Before we follow DeRudio's heart-pounding escape, let's talk about Custer. Born in 1839 in Ohio, George Armstrong Custer was a Civil War rock star. At just 23, he became a brigadier general, leading daring cavalry charges against the Confederates. He was at Appomattox when General Lee surrendered, soaking up the spotlight. But Custer wasn't all heroics. He loved fame. Some say too much. He'd pose for photos on the battlefield, his golden curls flowing, looking like a movie star. Yet, his ego got him in trouble. In 1867, he was court-martialed for deserting his post to visit his wife, Libby, and for ordering deserters shot without trial. Suspended for a year, he clawed his way back, hungry to prove himself. Custer's reputation as an Indian fighter came from battles like the Washita River in 1868, where he attacked a Cheyenne village, killing dozens, including women and children. To some, he was a hero protecting settlers. To Native Americans, he was attacker at dawn, a breaker of treaties. By 1876, tensions were sky high. The U.S. government wanted Native tribes on reservations, but leaders like Sitting Bull refused. Custer, leading the 7th Cavalry, was sent to force them. He underestimated his enemy, thinking he'd face 800 warriors. In reality, there were over 2,500. Now let's meet Charles DeRudio, a man whose life sounds like a Hollywood script. Born in 1832 in Belluno, Italy, as Carlo Camillo DeRudio, he was the son of a count and countess. As a teen, he trained at an Austrian military academy, but joined Italian rebels fighting for independence in 1848. At 15, he defended Rome against Austrian forces, proving his courage. By 1858, he was in London, tangled in a wild plot to assassinate Napoleon III, who disappointed Italian nationalists. DeRudio threw a bomb in the attack, killing over 100 people. Sentenced to death, he escaped the guillotine at the last second, fled to a French penal colony, and broke out again. Landing in America during the Civil War, he joined the Union Army, serving with the 79th New York Infantry and the 2nd U.S. Colored Infantry. By 1869, DeRudio was a second lieutenant in the 7th Cavalry, but he wasn't exactly Mr. Popular. Custer called him a natural conspirator and blocked his promotions, while Captain Frederick Benteen nicknamed him Count No Account for his boastful tales and aristocratic airs. Fellow officers mocked his fallen noble status, but DeRudio proved his grit. He fought off Sioux raiders, broke up a Ku Klux Klan group, and arrested a Louisiana landowner, suppressing black voters. In 1875, he earned a promotion to first lieutenant, joining Company A under Major Marcus Reno. Little did he know his clash with Custer would save his life. Back to June 25th, 1876. The 7th Cavalry, about 700 strong, is closing in on the Little Bighorn village. Custer's scouts spot the camp 15 miles away and report the Indians are pulling back. Custer smells victory. He splits his force. Benteen takes companies H, D, and K to guard the left. Reno, with companies M, G, and A, including DeRudio, hits the center. Custer leads companies E, I, F, L, and C on the right. Company B stays back with the pack train. It's a bold plan, but Custer's ignoring warnings. His Crow scouts beg him not to attack, saying the village is too big. He brushes them off, reportedly saying, "Hurrah, boys, we've got them." DeRudio, riding with Reno's battalion, feels the tension. They trot 6 or 7 miles to the Little Bighorn River, ford it, and burst onto the plains. Orders come to charge, and they gallop through a choking dust cloud kicked up by fleeing warriors. The dust is so thick DeRudio can barely see his hand in front of his face. Reno halts the charge, forming a skirmish line along a dry creek bed. Horses are led to the woods for cover, and the men brace for action. Suddenly, hundreds of Lakota and Cheyenne warriors attack, their war cries piercing the air. The skirmish is brutal. DeRudio's men fire back, holding the line for about 30 minutes. Across the creek, they spot a few lodges in a clearing. Reno orders a crossing, but the lodges are empty. Then, out of nowhere, 200 warriors swarm them, screaming and firing. Outnumbered, Reno's 100 men are pinned down. Bullets rip through the air and chaos erupts. DeRudio at the rear spots a guidon, a cavalry flag left behind. He rides back to grab it, but it snags in the branches. As he dismounts to free it, a bullet slams into his horse. The animal bolts straight into the enemy ranks, leaving DeRudio stranded. 50 yards away, 300 Sioux warriors unleash a volley. Bullets whistle past, but DeRudio dives into a thicket, heart pounding. There he finds Fred Gerard, the interpreter, and Private Thomas O'Neill from Company G, both with horses. DeRudio suggests stampeding the horses to avoid detection, but they refuse. He crawls alone into a dry creek bed, hoping to hide until dark. 10 minutes later, pistol shots ring out, followed by women's voices. Peeking up, DeRudio freezes. 2 Lakota women are scalping a soldier, possibly still alive, while others dance around the body. The sight is horrifying, but he stays silent, praying they don't spot him. Soon, a crackling sound breaks the silence. The warriors have set the grass on fire to flush out survivors. The flames spread fast, forcing DeRudio to crawl out. As he nears the creek's bank, a voice whispers, "Lieutenant!" It's Gerard, O'Neill, and Scout William Jackson hiding nearby. The fire's closing in, but a light rain and dying wind slow it down, giving them hope. For 6 agonizing hours they hunker down, hearing warriors' voices and footsteps. Night falls, cloaking them in darkness. At 9 p.m., they make their move, heading for a ford 2 miles south. Gerard and Jackson ride, while DeRudio and O'Neill grab the horses' tails, stumbling through the dark. They hear warriors returning to the village, their chatter chillingly close. At the ford, they realize they've misjudged the crossing. As they wade back, 8 warriors appear. Gerard and Jackson bolt, leaving DeRudio and O'Neill to dive into bushes. DeRudio grips his revolver, ready to fight, but the warriors move on, thinking everyone fled. Relieved, the 2 men regroup, knowing another crossing's too risky. At dawn, DeRudio hears cavalry, horses splashing, men in blue coats. He spots a figure in a buckskin jacket and white hat, thinking it's Captain Tom Custer. "Tom, don't leave us!" he shouts. A war cry erupts, followed by 400 gunshots. The cavalry are warriors in stolen uniforms, riding captured horses. DeRudio and O'Neill scramble into the bushes as bullets tear through. They crawl across a clearing, spotting 5 warriors approaching. Hiding behind cottonwood stumps, DeRudio fires, dropping one. O'Neill's carbine takes down another. The rest flee. The gunfire from nearby bluffs continues, but the warriors soon retreat. DeRudio and O'Neill hide in a mulberry grove, surrounded by smoldering fires. At 4 p.m., a warrior fires 4 shots, a signal. Over 200 native fighters cross the river, leaving the area quiet. By 6 p.m., the battlefield is eerily still. Starving and parched after 36 hours, DeRudio and O'Neill wade across the river at 8 p.m., climbing bluffs toward a distant fire. After 2 miles, they hear a mule bray and a sentry's challenge. "Halt! Who goes there?" Cautiously, DeRudio shouts, "It's Lieutenant DeRudio and Private O'Neill." Cheers erupt. Lieutenant Charles Varnum, a battle-scarred officer, greets them, overjoyed they're alive. It's 2 a.m., June 27th. DeRudio learns the grim truth. Custer's 5 companies, over 200 men, are missing, presumed dead. Lieutenants McIntosh and Hodgson are gone too. Exhausted, DeRudio can't sleep, haunted by the battle's horrors. At 8 a.m., General Gibbon's cavalry and infantry arrive, their blue coats a sight that brings tears to battle-weary eyes. DeRudio's survival is a miracle, but the Battle of the Little Bighorn is steeped in controversy. Why did Custer split his forces? Some say it was standard tactics to confuse the enemy. Others call it reckless, ignoring the village's size. Why didn't Reno or Benteen reinforce Custer? They heard gunfire but stayed put, later claiming it was too dangerous. Some whisper they let Custer fall, resenting his arrogance. And what about Custer's body? Unlike others, it wasn't scalped or mutilated. Cheyenne oral tradition says 2 women, relatives of Mona Sita, a Cheyenne woman Custer allegedly married, protected him, saying, "He is a relative." DeRudio's life after the battle was quieter. He served in the Nez Perce War, retired as a major in 1896, and died in 1910 in Pasadena, California. But his tales of Little Bighorn, once dismissed as exaggerations, matched accounts by Girard, O'Neill, and Jackson, earning him respect. Private O'Neill, his loyal companion, stood by him through every danger, a true hero DeRudio never forgot. Now here's where it gets wild. Cheyenne oral tradition tells a story that flips the script. In 2005, Northern Cheyenne elders shared that Buffalo Calf Road Woman, a warrior who fought at the Battle of the Rosebud, struck the blow that knocked Custer off his horse. She was no ordinary fighter. A week earlier, she charged into gunfire to save her brother, earning the nickname, the girl who saved her brother. At Little Bighorn, she fought openly, wielding a club or pistol, fearless on horseback. Some say she killed Custer, ending his legend. Others, like Chief Gall, insist Custer died on the ridge, far from the river. Who's right? The dust and chaos hid the truth. So what's the real story of Custer's last stand? Was he a hero, charging into battle for glory? A fool blinded by pride? Or was he betrayed by his own men, left to face a warrior like Buffalo Calf Road Woman? And what about DeRudio? Did his shady past, bomb-throwing revolutionary, count no account? Make him a liar, or did his survival prove his courage? The Little Bighorn keeps its secrets, buried in the Montana hills. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think happened that day? Was Custer doomed, or could he have won? Let's keep this story alive on Yanks, Dixie and Native Roots.